inside the locker room. I've been joined in the studio, right? The locker room by Tega Onojaife.
What you're the only one that's calling my son name. They don't call me Tiga Onojafe, they call me Tiga Princess, Tiga Tiger, Tiga every great thing.
So without the name, without the princess,
You now call me
would it
Tiga.
be less than great?
You now call me Tiga just like that. Can't you call me Tiga just like old chief like me?
Tega princess, Tega greatness. Good
All right,
morning
it's
to
okay, it's
you.
okay, it's okay. Good morning, everybody. How was your week? Hope your week was great. So, a few things have happened since we were last here. Remember when so if I say Chris Parker, oh Tega, Scott Parker came out to say that he was not sure he was going to be in a job by weekend.
Yes.
He was right. They sacked him that afternoon. So
Okay.
good night, and God bless. And then Wednesday, a lot of people stand the goat debate again. When PSG and Messi was knocked out, Messi with his disappearing act. And they're talking about how Cristiano Ronaldo could never have done this, da da da. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo played the next day for 90 minutes in the Saudi Arabian League, and he ghosted for 90 minutes, and his team was beaten
Okay.
and they're knocked off the top of the log.
Okay.
so,
So
so the God debate is now equal. It's almost as if when Messi does something, Ronaldo says, I can do it better. Or when Ronaldo does something, Messi's like, I can do it better. So the God debate is now at par.
but Ronaldo, Messi is still one upping,
Oh no, no, guaranteed, guaranteed. And I
based
know,
on who picked the last award
and
recently.
I know Cristiano Ronaldo fans will cry, but all I can say is there is only one greatest of all time. It's in the sentence, greatest of all time. There can't be two. There has to be one, and his name is Lionel Messi. All
So
right, so we're going to be talking about a lot of things on the locker room. So Omar, tell us how we can be part of the locker room.
So to be part of the locker room, we'll get to read your WhatsApp messages on 0809 444 0981. And of course, you can also be part of our YouTube channel. Of course, look for us there. We are Smooth 981. You find us there. Just be part of it. You can see Tega and everybody activities here. At some point, are we likely to get them speaking to you, Tega,
I will
Princess?
think about it, because Arsenal has not had a nice period, you know. Well, this week they had to come back on over the weekend, and then they struggled again to come back yesterday. The comeback was not complete, and this weekend they are playing in the London Derby against Fulham. So there's talk. So we may open the phone lines, but first of all, let's hear what we're going to talk about today.
So Pogba dropped from Juve's Freiburg's clash for disciplinary reason, and
Oh no
France's
no
manager.
no! I think you're starting from the. This is the beginning.
Oh, you would like to do
Yeah
tennis? Oh,
yeah.
first. So Moral Andy Murray says late career goal is to give best effort, and then after that we go to the man who's not out of the woods just yet. Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend says it was she was tricked out of a shared home. And from there, we go to Arsenal conceding too many simple goals. That's according to the man who should know, Ateta. And PSG, Gautier rules early missed chances in Bayern defeat. And then we come to Pogba, dropped from Juve's Freiburg's clash for disciplinary reasons. And if there's time, there will be France manager sacked just 4 months before the 2023 World Cup.
Yes, Nigeria. In case you didn't know,
And there is a
you can take
Richarlison.
yeah you can take your cue from France. They sacked their manager. Just in case you didn't know that some things can happen. I'm giving you a heads up. Waldrum has to go at some point. All
Let's,
right, let's start from the first story.
Andy Murray said on Thursday that at this stage of his career, he measures his success by the effort he brings or gives to the court and not the ranking points he accumulates along the way.
Yes, so I will say this for Andy Murray. So he played last night in the ATP in Indian Wells 1000 Masters. He played against a really young Echeverry from Argentina. Now, Echeverry made this guy run. I don't know if the guy doesn't understand that Andy Murray has had two hip surgeries, and he still has a metal in his body. he can't even pass the airport without setting things off. And this guy was making him run with that metal hip up and down the court. But Andy Murray likes to put in the work. He has the strength, he puts in the effort, and he was able to eventually win the match in 3 sets. But what it is, I totally agree with him. At this particular point in time, with the way his body and his injuries have gone, the way his age is, he's not looking for ranking points now. He's just going to see how every day he can achieve his best results. So I'm with him. He cannot be measuring his life, even if they're about the same age, with Novak Djokovic or Rafa Nadal. Different people do different things. I mean, success is different to different people. So for him, he's won Grand Slams. He's won a lot of tournaments. Now it's not about ranking points. It's just about enjoying his tennis for the remaining time that he has on the court.
But it just shows these younger players too. They seem not to have respect for older players. They send their from the way he made Andre work on the court.
Yeah. They don't have. Well, I would say they don't have respect, but again, they still don't have the, the braveness and the courage to beat some of these. I mean, think about it. This guy should be beating Andy Murray. I'm sorry. I at this particular point in time, I'm disappointed in the next generation of tennis players. Yes, because people used to unseat champions. When Roger Federer came, he beat the Pete Sampras's, the Andrea Gassi's, so that you knew that this was the next best thing. Well, now they're waiting for next gen since they've become 26, which is like the middle of their career.
Yes.
They're still next gen. So what do we call the 19-year-olds?
Well, they're upcoming. So if you're done with that, can we go on to
next story?
Let's see if he's out of the woods from this story. I hope he is. And Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend says she was tricked out of a shared home. Now it says a lawsuit filed by Tiger Woods' ex-girlfriend claims he tricked her into packing a bag and leaving their shared home before locking her out.
Okay, so here's what we are the girl is claiming happened, because they've called Tiger Woods and Tiger Woods have not given his own version of the story. But what it is that, and ultimately what it is that ultimately Tiger Woods has Tiger Woods' girlfriend came out to report that Tiger Woods made her pack a bag and told her that they were going on vacation. And then when she got to the airport, that was when she was now told that, well, you've been locked out of Tiger Woods' house and you should leave from here, by his representatives. So it's not like she didn't know that they were even breaking up with her. She got to the airport and found out that she was the ex. So officially, they've not even announced that they are breaking up.
But if you don't have access to the key into the house, you should already get the language already there.
That's what I'm saying. He told her that they were going somewhere.
Yeah.
She packed a bag and went to the airport thinking that she was going on vacation, only for them to tell her that, well, the relationship is over. Can you imagine this life? Anyway, that's what she claims happened.
Yes.
And then she was locked out of their house and then they've broken up. So now she's suing for, how much did she say she was suing for in that? About
she will be suing for as much as, that's big sum to sue for.
About 30 million.
30 million US dollars.
Yes.
If you spend pounds, it will be 25 million pounds.
Yeah, about 25 million pounds, because they cheat out. First of all, I want to say, young lady, they're not even married. This is not your house.
And I'm not your daddy.
You understand? I'm not your father. I'm not your husband. How do I owe you 30 million because I said you should leave my house? If this is true, I think Tiger Woods did it the wrong way, if you ask me. However, you're the girlfriend.
30 million for emotional damage anyway.
Why do you feel entitled to his house?
So, Tiger, we're due for a break now.
Okay, let's take a very quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the rest of the stories.
Not just music, it's smooth music.
Our break is usually
At Access, we are 28,000 employees, 180,000 agents, 700 branches, 180,000 connected POS, and 2,883 ATMs strong, serving our more than 52 million customers in Africa, Europe, Asia, and UAE.
So when we come back, we'll
across
take
17 countries with a total asset of 15 trillion naira.
No,
We
leave that.
are
See
the
your people
largest
there.
bank in
Okay.
Those are
Nigeria.
your customers. They're
Top
waiting
10
already
in
for you.
Africa.
Okay, so when we come back, we'll
to the
start with
determined
Adenike's.
side
Open them.
The
We at least we know
happy-go-lucky
what's
youth,
no
the
leave,
tech-savvy
please.
entrepreneur, The
So we'll
moms
wait.
and dads
When we
with
start,
bright
when we come
lives to
back.
build. The market woman with big dreams for growth. The global citizens with their roots in our soils.
So when we come back, we'll start from
are here to
Adenike's
stay.
message.
Through
We'll take
thick
Josh's
and
message.
thin.
Then
We
we'll now
stand
come back
with
and
you.
take the full stories.
Access,
Okay.
more than backing.
One secret
So we're going to Arsenal when we come.
Yeah, when we
by
come
the
back,
time
we'll
we're
go
to
to
release.
Arsenal. Yeah.
So,
So Adenike's message, Josh's message, and then Arsenal. Do we have any message on YouTube?
high-speed internet connection for up to 32 devices with 240 gigabyte free data. The Smart 2. Visit any Airtel store now.
So we'll just take these two. The messages are coming on YouTube. YouTube people were waiting for you. Then we'll take those messages. So let's start from.
This is Smooth Breakfast.
Are we ready?
Yes, we're back.
And we're back right in the locker room, and Tega is still here. We've got some messages to pick up before we get on to the next story.
Yeah, Adenike says, now what for you, Tega? Have you not heard of draw? Even in school, two people come first. Messi is not the good, Jerry. Oh, well, you be arguing. The fact that you say it's ninth doesn't mean that it is really ninth. Josh says, Tega, you are now like a disappearing message on WhatsApp. Do we need to train new people? What am I doing? I'm not disappearing now. I said, for real, what's PFG problem? These guys keep spending millions year after year, and they can't even smell the perfume applied to the hand before the Champions League is moved. Omo, see Tiger breakfast. All right, so I will say this, Josh, and we'll get to that PSG story soon, but I'll break down this PSG myth, because there's this thing that people think about PSG having a super team, and we'll get to whether it's a team or not. But let's take the Arsenal story first.
Arsenal's manager, Mikel Arteta, has urged his team to improve their defense after they had to fight back to earn a 2-2 draw with Sporting Lisbon in the first leg of their Europa League last 16 tie on Thursday.
Yes, and I will say this, because of the way the comeback was over the weekend, I think a lot of people forgot how easy Arsenal conceded goals. So think Aston Villa, Arsenal had to come from behind to win that game in the
97th minute.
Yeah. And no, that was the Aston Villa game before. They had to eventually come back to win that game. They won it 4-2, and then Martinez made a mistake at the very last minute. But then last weekend, again, they came from behind and to win their game. That was the 97th minute winner. And then yesterday again, they had to come from behind. But you look at the goals that they're conceding. Think Bournemouth. 11 minutes or 9 minutes into the game, they had already conceded a goal. Think the goals they conceded against Aston Villa. 1 minute it looked like they were piling on the pressure to Aston Villa. One ball moves up the pitch and it's in the back of the net, and Arsenal are down. So I understand with Mikel Arteta, they've been coming back, and so people have been carried away by the comeback wins. But yesterday they couldn't come back fully, because they were able to get back and drag the game back to 2-2 by an own goal, by the way, but not even able to win the game. And it's now Mikel Arteta is focusing on the real problem. The defense is easily beaten. Like, the goals they give away are really cheap goals. You have to remember, Sporting Lisbon are fourth on the table, on the log in Portugal.
But they have a history when they meet Lisbon with this not being able to pull it through.
It
was a long goal the last time.
It's an Arsenal problem. It's not, again, it's a defensive problem. Because if you're fighting a Sporting Lisbon that is struggling to score in Portugal, and you are at the top of the league in the Premier League, then there's a problem with you. And I would say this, Mikel Arteta, people can argue about, he didn't use his regulars, Odegaard was out sick and injured, but he pretty much played everybody else. And like I always say, if you're on the bench, you're going to have to carry the weight sometimes. You're going to have to be able to get up and say, coach, you know what, I'm ready to be a starter. And so far, I haven't seen that from a few Arsenal players. So yesterday was a struggle. Yesterday was an eye-opener. They could easily have lost that one. And the bad news for them is that there's no away goal rule now. So if you score 4 goals away, it's still 4 goals. So you have to outscore the next opponent, which means you may have to concede less. And so that's something he needs to deal with. And it doesn't make it easier that this weekend they play against Fulham. And regardless of how much you say, but Arsenal at top of the table, 5 points clear, and they're in form, and Fulham are not so much in form. Fulham is a London club, And sometimes when London clubs meet each other, they just want to frustrate you like village people. And so at the end of the day, Arsenal is going to have to set up better defensively, because this is 3 games now. They've conceded 2 goals each.
Could anything amount to this? Probably they've been away from Europa for some time now, and they're just.
I don't. It's not a question of Europa for some time. It's just think defensively, especially from set pieces. You know, they had it looked like at some point from the end of last year to early this year, it looked like they had gotten a handle of defending set pieces. All of a sudden, they are now back to being vulnerable again. So it's one of the things they need to look at.
Okay. Let's get on to PSGs now, where you intend to settle the good issues. So let's see what PSG is saying here. Paris Saint-Germain blamed themselves for missing early chances as they lost 2-0 to Bayern Munich on Wednesday and crashed out of the Champions League in the last 16.
Yeah, so I will say this thing about Arturo Gautier. I don't think it was just the fact that they missed early chances. Like I said on Wednesday morning before the game was played, I said PSG concede too many goals and they make too many defensive mistakes. And so my question was not if they would score. My question was that they may score, but they will still concede, which meant that they will not be able to progress to the next round. And that's what happened. Look at the goals that they gave away. The first goal was Verratti dancing around in his 18-yard box. And then they took the ball off him, scored the goal. The second goal again too was another defensive clearance that didn't go well, and they considered another goal. So you look at the way that they easily give away goals. And I tell people when they say PSG, oh PSG, how can a team of stars not do anything? No. PSG is not a team of stars. There are 3 stars in PSG: Mbappe, Messi, Neymar. Every other player on that team is a has-been or a not enough.
So the 3 stars didn't align well enough to get them out.
There's a reason they're not playing 3 aside. They're playing 11. Yes, now they're playing 11 men on the pitch. So if your team has only 3 good pieces and the rest cannot align around the 3 good pieces, I always say it, they are top heavy. You look at their midfield, their defensive midfield is not solid. Going forward, they're not solid. So sometimes if you want to see through passes or you want to see great passes, it has to be Messi dropping deep, or Mbappe trying to carry the ball from midfield, or Neymar trying to carry the ball from midfield. Now Neymar didn't play this game because he's out for the season with that injury, but you can see how lopsided that club is. It's not a team. I refuse to use the word team for it, because it is not a team. It's just a group of individuals where some are great, some have passed their prime, and some are not ready for their
and some will be great in the future.
Some will be great in the future. That's the team that PSG is. So when people you just hear Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, and just like, oh, it's a great. No, it's not. It's not a fantastic team. It's not. I will beat PSG every day of the week and twice on Sunday with Aqua United.
Name your team.
Every day of the week and twice on Sunday with Aqua United. In fact, just because it's balance. It's balance. You can't be top heavy. You know, you're going into a fight. Just think about it. If you are an F1 driver and you're driving a car and you are built like The Rock,
yes,
you will not, even if you know how to drive, you will struggle because your weight is killing the car. And that's what it is. They are lopsided. So they're not a great team. I didn't think they were going to beat Bayern Munich. They didn't beat Bayern Munich. And Gautier said it's because they didn't take their early chances, or it's clear that he does not know the job. They need to fire him, sell some of their players, buy new players in the right place. It doesn't have to be stars, but new players in the right place. For starters, central defense, they need to change that. Fullbacks, they need to sort that out. Hakimi is good, but on the other wing, Mendes has speed, but he doesn't have expertise, so that leaves a lot to be desired. Verratti has lost form since 2020, cannot be playing and performing. So it's a struggle for PSG, but they're out now. They can focus on winning League One and trying again next year.
In summary, 3 good trees will not form a forest.
Thank you.
So moving
Thank you.
Before we go on to message, can we get this one?
Yeah, let's get to Richarlison, where he's blasting his coach for not starting him after Spurs lost.
And he says, Tottenham Hotspur forward Richarlison criticized manager Antonio Conte following Wednesday's Champions League last 16 exit, questioning the Italian's decision to bench him while declaring the North London club has had a poor season. The question is, this man is just coming fresh from surgery. Is this how to welcome your manager?
Look, like I told the manager on Wednesday, I said, stay in your house. Your assistant manager has 100% record. Don't come here and foul up the play. The guy didn't listen to me. If he listened to locker room, he won't have stepped out of his house, and maybe, just maybe, Spurs would have won. I'm kidding, but I understand. So Richarlison comes out to say that, that they've that he played a few games and they won those games, and then they told him that if he passes the fitness test on Wednesday, that he's going to play Wednesday night. Then he passed the fitness test only for him to find himself on the bench. And I believe that he can say this because everybody knows that Conte is leaving the club. So you can challenge your manager like this, knowing that Conte is that your manager is leaving the club. Otherwise, you know that you will chop bench till you die. So he's saying this like, well, there are only how many games are left in season? Maybe 12. There are only 12 games left in season. What can happen to me now? That's the attitude he's having. That's why he can say this outright to the press about his manager. So I would say this though. The problem with Tottenham, I've seen Conte. Conte has won trophies with other clubs. Mourinho has won trophies with other clubs. It cannot be that the managers that have won trophies with other clubs are the problem.
Yeah.
So while it is easy to pick on the managers, let's also look at these players and maybe the board. All right. So let's take one more story, then we'll take some messages.
Now, Maisley Barca faced Atletico without key defender Arroyo. Xavi Hernandez returned to Barcelona as coach indicated.
Yeah. Okay, so Barcelona played this weekend, but they play second after Real Madrid has played earlier, the very first match. So what they're trying to do is maintain their 9-point lead at the top of the table, but they play against a tougher club. They play against Athletic Bilbao, who have pace up front with the Iñaki brothers and can get in behind and get a few goals. So tough one in the La Liga. Just when it looks like the battle is almost over, somehow the battle is still alive. So if Real Madrid gets a win, but Barcelona drop points, the gap closes again.
That takes us to Nero, who's waiting for us on our WhatsApp platform, and he says, if the FA want money, they should just ask, what's all these investigation for celebrating a last second winning goal? You can't bottle such emotional moment. Last season was players and pundits whining anyhow, and ref and the FA joins. Good one for Rivers United, Arsenal United. They will progress and possibly meet at the final. Nero Cello from Ogudu.
All right, so let's just take our last message. And this one is from Zicolo. He says, I agree with Arteta. The Arsenal defense needs to do better. You can't concede easy goals like they've been doing recently and be a champion. Gotta do better. And that's all we can take on Locker Room. Thank you for your messages. We can't read every single message, so let's hand over the studio to...
Well, Tega, sorry, you can't just leave your people this way. So we are still going to keep you here for quite a minute. So even though it's Friday, we know, but then you can't go away without a Francis story.
Okay. All right, let's take the break that you need to take, and then we'll come back.
Move 98.1.
You said you had something at 8:40. Oh, I know now, but that's what we usually do. Because you told me a message. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need to report my producer to you. Come and stay here. This is my producer. She has been disturbing me behind the scenes. Why did you? I thought you had something coming in. That's why I stopped now. That's usually the way. I will beat her.
So we're going to pick up some. We've done with the color already. So let's go to.
So when we come back, we'll take Muhammad's message, and then.
Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabytes bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240
This is the one. So we'll read the bottom one, Muhammad's message at the bottom, and then we'll take Tayo's message.
And Big E is also send a message.
And then Big E before we now take the France, and then I will deal with you. Are we back?
We're coming back now.
We're back.
Screws don't come for you. Fear catch me, oh.
98.1. It just feels good.
And we are back, not for too long now. So let's take her.
Let's take some messages. Muhammad comes with this message. He says, Tega, you're not making excuses for PSG. Muhammad, I don't understand how you speak English. I'm not making excuses. My job is to explain. He said, PSG, Abba, that's not right now. PSG have a youthful team. And we are saying the same thing now. Some have the has-beens, some are not yet enough. They are future stars. He said, I hope you know Kingsley Coman was from PSG. your analysis is pointless. So you're trying to tell me that there are so many teams better than PSG from attack to defense. Mohammed, just off the top of my head, I don't even have to think. In the Champions League this season, Bayern, Real Madrid, who else is in Champions League? AC Milan, even Tottenham is a more complete team than PSG. Tottenham has been knocked out. Who else is in the Champions League? Napoli is a better team. Even Liverpool that chopped 5 against Real Madrid is a better team. Off the top of my head, I've already counted 7 people or 6 people. So, Mohammed, please.
We've got this one.
We've got this one from Tayo saying Tiger used his golf skill to send her far away like a golf ball, but she doesn't she have a house before moving in with him? I don't know. This question you're asking me, I don't know her personally.
When we see Tiger, we'll ask
when we see the girl, not Tiger, okay, we'll ask her whether she didn't have house before she moved in with him. Biggie from Keto says, when will Messi turn up on big games and big teams? Tottenham Messiah coach is not yet made. What they need is to buy 3 coaches and past and present and future. I don't think that's what they need. And Cruz came for me about something about fear catching him, but we will not take that message because that's a personal one. We'll take Francis'
message now. Francis coach Diacre has been sacked as manager of the French national team 4 months before the World Cup.
Yes. So here's what's happening in the French national women's team. Let's be precise now. So a lot of their big stars, Wendy Renner, Diani, they came out to say that they're not going to go to the World Cup. Wendy Renner, when she first came out to say she's not going to the World Cup, she didn't say why. She just said she feels like she has given her best, and with the way things are going, she's not going to the World Cup. But other players now came out to say they're not going to the World Cup, and they now said why. The problem was Diacre. So it's almost so Diacre has her idea of who she wants to take to the World Cup, and because of that, she was dropping some experienced players, bringing in some new players. That they're up and coming, but you mix the old and the new, and so some of the players. Some players were angry, so the big name players were dropping out. They're not playing again, and so the FA now had a 4-man committee group to review the situation, and they found out that she was the dividing factor. So they're like, okay, it's better for us not to go to the World Cup, or if we go to the World Cup, we better go with our full squad and not you. So they had to drop her.
No, but this French, it's not surprising when you also consider the fact that the male team, the national team, also had a history of also rebelling against a coach.
Well,
So there's a precedent.
So I don't know that it's just rebelling. They just did it because they just wanted to rebel against a coach. I mean, but Diacre clearly has a problem with the girls, because even if you watched the Nigerian national team during the CAF African Cup of Nations, where after the defeat to South Africa, you saw some players talking to themselves and arguing about what the coach did or didn't do. There's a problem brewing with the Super Falcons, by the way, where the coach, they say, arguing about who the coach should have played or shouldn't have played. That's exactly what happened to the French national team at the Euros. You could see the players arguing about who should have played or who should have come and who shouldn't have come, and then it escalated into this. So yes, I know that the men's national team have a problem of fighting with themselves. You know, there's stories about them blackmailing themselves, stories about them fighting with each other, stories about them having camps. They're all that stories. But this one with Diacre has been brewing for a while. But the French body decided to stick with her, and it was that French president, former football president, that, you know, the one that abused Zinedine Zidane, that's the one that decided to stick with her. So at the end of the day, ultimately, she's gone, and they're going to hire a new coach to take them to the World Cup. So I just want to use this opportunity to tell the NFF that, you know, if the French can do it and can risk it, and they had better chances of winning this World Cup than we do, I think it's time you take a leaf out of their book.
You risked
fire Waldron.
Sega, you reached Eguavon and went. We had a history tour before a tournament. So
no, it's not a question of risk Eguavon. We cannot risk Waldron. Okay. Waldron is a PE teacher. Okay. I don't care what people say. You cannot take him to look. I'm telling you, without Waldron, we would still have struggled at the World Cup. With Waldron,
okay.
This embarrassment will be global.
When your neighbor's beard is on fire, bring water to touch your own because you just can't tell. So Tega, well, our time is up.
Our time is up. Yes, and we would have talked about Pogba and his disciplinary issues. Came back from injury and then came late to training, but we don't have time for that. And we would have taken one more message from Mohammed again, but no time for that. We'll take all your messages on Monday, where hopefully there will be banter. For now, let's leave this studio for you.
And thank you very much, Princess Chega, for your time out. Do have a great weekend. The Locker Room returns next week, and that will be on Monday at 8:15 a.m. on Smooth 98.1 FM.